I'm Pooja Talwar, the Executive Editor, Lifestyle and Entertainment with Good Times. And we're just, oh yes, Kalki has joined us.
Hi.
Hi. Many
Good dog.
congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
So what is that one thing you wish for your mom now that you are on that side as well?
What I wish for my mom,
Yeah.
that she stopped treating me like I'm five. But I realize that's impossible because I realize with Sappho I'm going to be the same. But mom is in good shape. She's in Pondi, and she's having a good day because our neighbors are with her, so she's happy. She's doing well.
What's it been like for you now, Sappho was born in February, right?
Yeah, just a month before lockdown.
So what's it been like with you? And what was that one thing about motherhood that you were really looking forward to?
Well. I didn't know what to expect really. I've been looking forward to having a child, but I never knew what to expect. And I think the progresses that happen every week, the little smiles, the talking, now she's starting to roll around. So all of those things are really exciting. And it's hard to describe to people who haven't had kids because it's only when you have kids that you realize how exciting it is.
Very true. Has she gone past that, stage when they're just looking at you blankly and just staring?
Oh yeah. She's fully recognizing everyone. Now she has that problem of not like she knows who she wants when. So she'll like push some of us away. She'll push my partner away when she wants me, and vice versa.
Who does she seem to be more inclined towards, mama or papa?
Definitely mama. I'm the milk bearer. I'm the milk bar. So as long as I'm feeding her, she's gonna want me.
Somebody's just written here, I want to have a baby, but I need some encouragement.
Encouragement. There's just nothing like it. I don't know what to say. It's really hard. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a full-time job in the beginning. It's really, really tough. But it makes you believe in the world again. It makes you want to look at how humans, where we came from. And now whenever I think of a person I don't like or a person I have trouble liking or getting along with, I just think of them as a baby, and I try to remember that once they were a baby, they were innocent, and life has just been tough on them. So it really reminds you of where we started and how we can make a beautiful world if we just remember where we came from.
And the thing is, motherhood, there's a lot of physical and emotional wear and tear that happens with a woman. So what changes have you experienced in yourself after the baby was born? Did you see anything different? Like in Hindi picture mein kehte hain na, mamta jaag gayi mere.
I mean, for me, the pregnancy was one of the hardest things to go through. I think it's not talked about enough, and I made like a little cartoon on which I shared when I was pregnant about all the tough things that you go through. The physical changes, of course, the nausea, but also the mental trauma, the feeling that you just can't do this, and it's so exhausting. So it's very tough. And the first month of having a baby is also really tough, especially if you choose to breastfeed, because then you got to be up every couple of hours, and so you have no sleep and you have no sense of day or night, and you kind of feel like, what's my purpose? Am I only a milk machine? That's all? Am I a cow? So it can be really tough. And I was lucky not to have it for too long. My baby sleeps pretty well, and I'm pretty lucky that I've gotten over it. But you need all the support you can get. In the first 2 weeks, I had my mother and my mother-in-law and my partner and a nanny. We had a lot of help in the beginning.
And that's so important. So how is your partner dealing with it? Because no one asks the dads ever. It's always the focus is on the mother because she's the one giving birth. She is going through it all. So how's the dad taking it all?
Yeah, he's loving it. He's thankfully a very hands-on dad, and of course with the lockdown, we're all there to give her attention. So it's really great for the baby. It's great for us as parents. He's done the amazing job of calming her down when she's wailing too much, because he plays the piano and that immediately calms her down. So yeah, it's great to have a automatic calmer.
And there's a lot of music happening in the house. Your lullabies, sometimes a Portuguese song, sometimes an African lullaby. I mean, who knew that you knew so many languages?
I don't. I learned the lullabies. When I was pregnant, I asked people to send me, I put on Instagram a thing, send me all the lullabies, you know, beautiful lullabies. I started learning from then, yeah. I put one up today, a Bengali one.
Awesome. And she's liking music. And of course, if there's music in the house, she'll be musically inclined as well. You never know.
Let's see, yeah.
So somebody has said your thoughts on pregnancy and how come you look so fit post the baby?
My thoughts on pregnancy are it's a very tough journey. A lot of changes in your body. You need to be conscious of how you eat. You know, people think you can just like pig out when you're pregnant, but actually you feel nauseous a lot of the time. You don't feel like eating, and sugar is actually a really bad idea, especially if you want to have a natural birth. How did I lose the weight? Actually, breastfeeding is an amazing way to reduce the uterus again. It just automatically helps the uterus go down. And then I started with yoga in the beginning, and now I'm doing a little more, Pilates and exercising. So, it's just, I think the idea is just to do a little every day, not to overwhelm yourself to like try and go to the gym immediately and all that, but just like, even if it's only 10 minutes a day, you know, just make sure you don't skip a day. That's how I try to do it.
Did you get a whole lot of that, you know, because when women are pregnant, you get these advice from people, our style of parenting versus yours. This is what we went through during pregnancy. How did you deal with all that? Because there is
there's non-stop advice from the elders, from the internet, and all sorts of information that you get. There's too much information, I feel. You have to kind of sift through it, say thank you to everyone, but only choose what you really need. It is impossible to. You have to make your own way, your own path in parenting. You can't really copy somebody else's way.
Which is so true. And also somebody has asked this question, is that one thing you wish to take from your mom? Because they say women often become like their mothers after they've, given birth.
Yeah. One thing I'd like to take from my mom is her strength. You know, she's been through a lot in life, come from another country to this country when she was very young, went through, a failed marriage, 2 failed marriages, and she's come out of it a very strong woman, very, independent, and I hope I can keep that.
And it's interesting that you've named your baby Sappho, and, I was just reading about Greek mythology. She was a very strong woman, unapologetic,
yes.
And I think we need people like that, especially in this day and age.
Yes, except that Sappho was a real person, not a mythological person. So, yeah, she was the first ever poet to be recorded, female poet to be recorded in history.
Yeah, and she also wrote about women's rights, and she wrote about marriage.
She did, yes, and yeah.
So it was that, how did you zero in on this name particularly? And it's also very gentle.
One, I just loved her work, and I loved what she stands for. A lot of her poetry is about love. And the second was that it was the first book that my partner, a guy, gifted me. The first time we met, we thought we would never meet again because I was on a holiday there. And so as I was saying goodbye, he gave me this book, Sappho.
It just seems to be the perfect name because that's how mom and dad met. So basically, what's it like with the baby in the day, and anything interesting? Because every day there's something new, moments that you look forward to.
The day starts at like 6 a.m. With baby very hungry. Feeding happens. Then she wants to hear the sparrows and the crows. It's very important that she goes outside and hears the sparrows. So we go out on the balcony. and we have a bunch in the morning time is usually a time for her to play. She likes to she tries to walk. Like I hold her up and she moves her legs a little bit, and she tries to move her neck. She does tummy time, does time on her tummy where she lifts her neck up. So all that happens. Afternoon, usually Guy takes her over and plays piano for her, and and then in the evening also she needs attention. So evening usually we sing her songs, and but there's a lot of time when she's also sleeping and napping, so we take advantage of that time to go and eat or do something else.
So also you have your brother staying with you, who's 12 years old. So you're getting quite that lesson in parenting. You have a toddler.
Tell me about it. I was not signing up for this. I thought one toddler is enough, but now we have a teenager sitting at home. He's great. Now he's great. In the first couple of weeks, he was like an indoor plant sitting in the corner, just on his YouTube and, playing video games all the time. Then we realized, okay, we need to get serious about school and give him a routine. So he's on that. And he's even really contributing in the house. I mean, thankfully, because he sees another male person doing, helping in the kitchen, helping cook and all that. He's also started doing that. The other day, he cooked us a meal. And it's great because we get to eat his school homework when he gets school homework to do cooking.
And what's interesting? You chose for a water, what do they call it? A water birth, hydro birth? I wouldn't know.
Yes.
A lot of moms these days are choosing that over, going to the hospital, getting C-section. So what was any particular reason that you also chose to go this way?
I mean, I've just done a lot of research, and water births are supposed to be very easy for the baby because they've been in water in the uterus, and so the shock of coming out is less for them. They're less likely to cry when they come out of the womb, and they sort of don't realize that they've been born. So the trauma is less. For the mother also, you dilate a lot quicker. The water really helped with the pain because you're not holding that weight up. The water is helping you float. So yeah, there's several things that really help. And I'm glad I was able to do it. It wasn't easy though. It was not easy.
I am sure. And also your timelines through your pregnancy. There are good days, there are bad days. There was none of that, oh, I feel the pregnancy glow. Oh, I am feeling so good. Because this is the reality. And sometimes mothers out there do feel that, and they feel they have no one to talk and discuss all this. They're meant to be positive, happy for the baby. So what would you want to say?
I would say that you really need to reach out. You're not supposed to do this on your own. You need a community, a family. You need people to talk to. I got a doula during my pregnancy and post, and I would say it's really great to have someone who's really professionally, well equipped to deal with everything from the physical changes and the preparations that you need, and for labor and for birth, to recognize all of that, and also the mental changes, emotional changes, to help you replenish yourself, to help you understand that you also need the attention, because the baby's getting all this attention, but your body needs to recover, your hormones need to recover, all of that. So it's really, really great if you can get a doula for that.
Somebody's asked, are you looking forward to hitting the road with your partner and the baby, since you do like to travel quite a bit?
Oh, I would love to. I'm dying to go on a road trip. I'm sure Sappho's gonna enjoy seeing the world after being locked down for so long. We're looking forward to it.
Can you imagine when she grows up and you tell her, when babies do ask, what was it like when I was born? We were locked down, we could go out of the house. I mean, what do you think is going to be normal now?
It's impossible to say. I think it's gonna, it's going to take us a long time to get back to, at least in my industry, to get back to work. I think a lot of stuff is going to happen online. A lot of rethinking about how we work. I think it's probably one of the good things is a lot of people can probably work from home. You know, I think it gives you more time with family. It reduces the travel and the traffic. Maybe there's a lot we can learn, even though this is a really tough time. But you know, ways of rethinking how this world works.
What are the lessons learned during this lockdown? Because everyone, I know there's a lot of stress and introspection and everything, but you have your hands full with a baby and everything else. But is there something different? What are the lessons learned? Because we all seem to be in the same boat.
Yeah, I think, you know, definitely one thing is keeping some kind of routine. You know, just because the world is shut down, it doesn't mean that you need to shut down. You know, make sure you exercise and make sure you do those things that stimulate your mind and your body. Otherwise, you kind of go crazy. If you're just going to watch Netflix and bum around, it's going to drive you crazy. So I would say keep that routine going. And, you know, again, just looking at nature and looking at blue skies makes me think, you know, can we find ways to reduce pollution around us? Can we find ways to take care of, you know, our surroundings better, our employees as well better, their hygiene? These are all things for us to sort of consider, I think.
Somebody's asked, what's your view on vaccines for the baby?
That's a good question. So I had very few vaccines growing up. I grew up on homeopathy with my parents. We've given Sappho the basic vaccines that are required by the government, but I don't believe in just vaccinating indiscriminately. I think that can really lower your immunity system. People who are vaccinated for flu and for this and for almost everything now actually are not able to fight a virus like corona because their immunity has gotten so used to not having to fight anything. So I would say, you know, in my case, I really am very choosy about my vaccines.
So somebody's asked, what's your favorite pastime now between diaper duty, birthing the baby, and feeding?
I mean, it really is just that most of the time. My favorite pastime is feeding, where I tend to chat to Sappho or read a book to her. We have our little, like, you know, bonding time when I'm feeding her. So I really love that.
And all those lovely pictures are being taken by Guy, obviously.
Yes. He's got a good eye for photography.
Anyways, thank you so much and congratulations once again. Lots of love to Sappho. What is she doing at the moment, though?
She's with Guy right now.
Okay.
She's with Guy. Yeah.
Seems to be a very, disciplined baby. She's not wailing or anything.
No, she has her timings. She's like a Swiss clock. If you are late with her feeding, she starts wailing like a blood-curdling kind of wail that you cannot ignore. But if it's not her feeding time, then she's pretty shanti. She's really a blessing from heaven. I mean, she's sleeping 7-8 hours a night, which is really rare at this age. She's 3 months. So, yeah.
Are you managing to get sleep as well? Because mama's usually...
Yeah, because of that. Because she's sleeping at night, so I sleep with her. We go to bed at 10 p.m., which is a bit early, but, you know, we wake up at 6. So, yeah, it works out great.
So after, there will be work, anything that you're working on, any work in progress, because since you're there are two creative people in the house.
Of course, I don't think shooting is starting anytime soon. That's all been pushed. But I'm trying to do more online stuff. So I'm writing a spoken word piece right now, which I actually performed yesterday for a private event online. I think there's going to be a lot of online talks and events. So prepping for that. Yeah.
Do you think it's going to change how we consume content now, post the lockdown, post-corona?
I think so. I think it's going to be, firstly, it's going to take a long time for anyone to be allowed to go to a cinema. So more content online, I think, is definitely going to happen. And I think, who knows what stories we're going to tell after this. You know, I'm sure we're going to have a lot of new kind of storytelling from the experience of this. This has never happened before.
True. Somebody wants to know, what are you reading? That is, if you get time to read anything.
I'm reading Les Miserables, and it's like 2 huge, thick volumes. I love it. It's so good. I know it's really like a classic, and I should have read it before, but I'd never read it, and it's really, really good.
Thank you so much. Lots of congratulations coming for you, new mama.
Thank you, guys.
One
Yes.
word that you want to give out in support to all the new mamas out there who are struggling as much during this lockdown with a new baby and not maybe supportive partners.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's it's a really, I can't even imagine not having support, because it's so important during this time. And I would say reach out, to an online platform, or reach out to family in any way that you can, because as I said, you can't do this on your own. You need support. And you're doing a great job. I know it's one of those things which, until you do it, nobody can understand what you're going through. So I exactly know what you're going through, and just remember to give yourself some love as well as your baby.
Thank you so much, Kalki. More power to you, and all the very best, and love to Sapo. We'll see her when we see her, and meet you
Yes.
physically soon once all this is over.
I really hope so. Yes, it'll
Thank
be
you.
lovely to
Yes.
see each other in person. All right.
And I'm going to read
Take
about
care.
Sapo properly.
Yeah.
Real Sapo.
Have-
The other Sapo, sorry.
Sure.